Good evening and welcome to Rupees and Cents, brought to you with the compliments of People's Leasing and Finance PLC. The Postgraduate Institute of Management is a semi-autonomous body linked to the Sri Ajantha Dharmasiri University. It was established in 1985, and despite being relatively young, it has the largest student population amongst the other institutions. It is the only self-funding higher learning institution in the university system of this country. The current acting head of the Postgraduate Institute, or the PIM, has over 2 decades of both private and public sector working experience in diverse environments. He is a chartered electrical engineer and a member of the Chartered Institute of Management UK as well. Dr. Ajantha Dharmasiri, the acting director and chairman of the Board of Management of the Postgraduate Institute of Management, is with me in the studio now to tell us about the activities of this important and unique institute. Welcome to Rupees and Cents. It's good to have you on the program. I said unique. You agree?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think are the reasons for establishing the Postgraduate Institute of Management way back in 1985?
Well, it's like this. There was a growing need for the managers in the developing Sri Lanka, and there was an acute requirement to produce more and more managers. And as a result of that, the postgraduate qualifications in management was in high demand. And with foreign collaboration, the first Master of Business Administration program was established in the University of Sri Ajantha. So PIM pioneered this prestigious degree program, MBA in Sri Lanka. And then we extended that to the public sector. We call it Master of Public Administration. So MBA and MPA were our flagship products.
Yeah. So that's really are your objectives as well?
Well, in fact, we are in the process of breeding leaders. We always say we develop leaders for the nation. They can be thought leaders, they can be action-oriented leaders. And we want our leaders to have global presence with local pulse. They should not forget their roots. At the same time, they would outreach to excel in Sri Lanka as well as in other parts of the world.
Right. Do you have any specific goals as such?
Well, the Higher Education Ministry expects PIM to become the center of management excellence for the South Asia. And we are working very hard in terms of making that dream a reality. In 5 years down the line, we hope PIM, which is already the center of management excellence in Sri Lanka, will be the center of management excellence in the entire South Asia.
Could you give us a brief idea about the type of educational programs that you offer?
Well, there we have, as I already mentioned, MBA,
right,
which is our cash cow or our flagship brand,
right,
which is the sought after qualification by the working managers. So our MBA program has been having a consistent demand. And every year we take more than 200 odd cream among the management community to follow our MBA program. At the same time, we get very senior public administrators to come to PIM to study Master of Public Administration. Those are our 2 key programs.
So you don't necessarily have to have a university degree, but if you are a chartered accountant or qualified in marketing, that also qualifies you to get enrolled with your institution?
Exactly. Either a degree or equivalent professional qualification.
Right.
And as I mentioned, MBA and MPA are the knowledge application related programs. And we have another very special one, which is the knowledge creation oriented, which is our doctoral program.
Right. Now, are the classes conducted in English only?
Yes, because we believe that our students or the managers should be able to communicate in the international arena. So we conduct the programs in English, but with due consideration to socio-cultural elements of Sri Lanka.
Right.
So, for example, when we select cases, because we believe in case study approach for learning, we select local cases as well as global cases. So, we give due emphasis on cultural aspects of Sri Lanka, at the same time be in line with the best practicing universities or the business schools around the world.
What sort of a demand you have from the students at the moment, those who want to join the institute?
Well, the demand has been consistently increasing, despite the fact that there's a proliferation of affiliated institutions present in Sri Lanka, which offers foreign qualifications. We are very happy to say that the demand for the original, authentic Sri Lankan product, which we have been offering for the past almost 30 years, is still in high demand. And the ample proof is that the number of applications collected every year and the number of people come for the admission interviews, it's only 1 out of 5 that we can accommodate in our annual program.
Do you by any chance conduct any what you call the sandwich courses, short courses, as well as what is the duration of a course generally?
Well, MBA and MPA are of 2 years part-time, whereas we have another very interesting market segment. We call them executive development programs, where private sector corporates, they send their managers, say for example, say 10 Saturdays or 3 months, where every other week they come to PIM. So we train them on fundamentals of management, and we give them assignments to go and practice in their workplaces, and they come and make presentations on what they have done, because we believe in knowing and doing nexus. What they learn in the classroom should be applicable when they go back to the workplace. So the classroom workplace connection is very important, and we believe in that practical dimension.
So their short course is different from what you normally offer. Now, you are a self-funded institute.
Yes.
Where did the money come from?
Well, it's from the money that we collect as course fees from the students, and we rent out our office space and our classrooms for outside programs. And again, we believe in self-funding and becoming self-sufficient. I'll give you one simple example there. Now, we are in the process of expanding our building complex. We wanted to go for the second phase of our building. So the estimated cost 3 years ago was 171 million. And we wanted a grant from the government, so we requested 50 million from the government. And we sent a letter to the Treasury. And the minister, after considering the cabinet viewpoints, they sent us a letter, and there was a statement in Sinhala. පශ්චත් උපාධි කළමනා කරන ආයතනය ඉතා විශිෂ්ට ලෙස පවත්වාගෙන යන ආයතනයක් බැවින් ඉතිරි මිලියන 50ද ඔවුන් විසින්ම සපයා ගන්නා ලෙස මෙයින් දැනුම් දෙමි. So I consider that as a compliment. So they wanted us to get the remaining part also from us. So we, in fact, we are very confident that we can do that, and we would continue to generate surplus, and then we work as an exemplary public sector self-managed institution.
So other than that, you don't rely on the government, you don't ask the government for funds to maintain or run the organization?
No.
Fully funded by the monies that. About how many students follow the courses at the moment?
Well, at any given time we have 700 plus students. In fact, if I go through the brochure, this is just a glimpse of the student community.
Right.
Who come to PIM every evening, and we cater for the working community. So every evening it becomes a hub of activities, and the car park is almost full with 300 plus vehicles from 5 onwards. From 5 to 9, that's a critical period where the real hub of activities take place.
Now, you said the basic qualification needed to enroll as a student in your institute is a degree or equivalent to a degree. What about a degree obtained in another part of the world? Is that accepted by you?
Yes. As far as the criteria is concerned, a degree from any recognized university anywhere in the world. And the speciality that we do not insist on the commerce stream. there are plenty of people who come from engineering background, including me, and some come from science background. So we open our doors, whoever is eligible to our selection criteria and whoever is willing to learn and excel in the competitive world.
What do you have to say about somebody having a medical degree?
Well, we had very rare cases. To tell you the truth, it's not predominantly demanded by the medical community, but there were entrepreneurial medical doctors who wanted to set up their own establishment. Say, for example, a medical expert who wanted to set up a private hospital and to get the business know-how and how to set up the feasibility and the other related areas. And they come to PIM to get that know-how and that expertise.
Right. I have a few more questions to ask. It's very interesting talking to you. We will take a short break now. We'll be right back soon after this break. So please stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Rupees and Cents, brought to you with the compliments of People's Leasing and Finance PLC. And I've been talking to Dr. Ajantha Dharmasiri, the Acting Director and Chairman of the Board of Management of the Postgraduate Institute of Management. Tell me, where are you located exactly, your office?
Well, there we are closer to the baseline road in Colombo 8. The road is called Leslie Ranagala Mawatha. We are number 28, Leslie Ranagala Mawatha. If I am to show a picture of our complex, it looks like this.
Right. As I asked earlier, now what arrangements have you made for the students living outside Colombo to follow the courses?
It's an interesting question. We have a challenge because we can't bring the entire country to Colombo to follow evening courses. So we have an arrangement for the public administrators who are scattered around the country. We call it M-learning mode, where, for example, people from Jaffna, people from Trincomalee, people from Vavuniya, they come to regional centers and we offer video conferencing mode. For example, 2 weeks ago, I was teaching the whole Saturday and to a crowd in Colombo. At the same time, that is relayed to the people in Jaffna, Trinco. And then it's a very interesting way of reaching the peripheries. Rather than asking them to come to Colombo, and we outreach to them. And that's a very cost-effective way of treating them and training them, because we need people in the periphery to be equipped, particularly in the public sector, for them to be confident and competent and to think and act like leaders. So we are in the process of developing the leaders in the private sector as well as in the public sector. So the distant learning mode, or the blended learning that we call it, where classroom sessions coupled with online learning tools, online learning material. So together with that, we give them a comprehensive learning solution.
Now, the duration of a course is approximately 2 years.
Yes.
At the end of it, is there sort of a convocation like what the other universities have?
Yes. In fact, interestingly, I can show you 2 pictures of the previous convocation.
Yes, why not?
So we had a very large gathering, and we, as a part of Jawadhanapura University, we go through the Jawadhanapura University Senate for our degree approvals. So we offer the degrees from Sri Jawadhanapura University. And if I am to show you the another picture from last convocation, where Dr. Hans from Dialogue was our chief guest.
Right.
And he was talking about the need to have more learned managers in the competitive world.
So most of your lecturers are people who are not necessarily in the educational field, but those who are in the private sector as well.
That's a very interesting point there, because PIM's uniqueness comes from the faculty as well, because 100% of our faculty are having prior industry experience. For example, I came from a multinational background. I was the head of HR at Nestle Technical Division 10 years ago. So I took a career change in joining the academia. Same is true for most of our senior faculty. They came either from private sector or from public sector for an academic career. So they bring the wealth of expertise to the classroom. So the classroom examples are pretty much in line with the reality in the industry. So the industry is represented or reflected in the classroom discussion.
It's a practical experience that
Absolutely.
they have.
Because there's a criticism around the world that academics are highly theoretical.
Yes.
And the master civil programs are very much into theory with very little practical significance. And we tend to defy and we tend to disagree, and we say what we offer at PIM are very highly practical oriented. So our intention is to make just practitioners, to convert them into thinking and acting professionals.
Yeah. What sort of courses are in demand? What do the students mostly want?
Well, there's a growing need for entrepreneurship related courses. For example, small and medium scale enterprises. Surprisingly, when we did a survey a few years ago among the passing out MBA graduates, I can still remember 1 out of 5 of the graduates wanted to be entrepreneurs. So that's a very interesting healthy sign where 20% of our graduates end up having their own enterprises, which in turn contributes to the economic development. In the same time, the remaining 80% also excel in the corporate world, and they climb the corporate ladder and they reach CEO positions. And even right now in Sri Lanka, there are more than 40 CEOs who are PIM alumni. So the alumni of PIM is a living example of the quality and the relevance of the programs that we offer at PIM.
I'm assuming that there are similar institutions in other parts of the world, am I right?
Yes.
Are you by any chance linked to any one of them, or do you by any chance work with them?
We closely work with few international institutions. We have a working relationship with Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, where we send our doctoral students to do their literature review, their reading, and we get supervisors. And also we are, very soon we are going to have a memorandum of understanding with University of New South Wales, Australia, which is one of the top 8 universities in Australia, to have a research agenda where we would have student exchange programs as well as faculty exchange programs. And we are going to work with the Maastricht University in Netherlands, and we have a working relationship with Price College of Business, University of Oklahoma, USA. And we are going to have another link with Aston Business School, Birmingham. So we are having a vibrancy of developing our social networks and then having student exchange programs as well as faculty exchange programs. And we intend to get more and more foreign faculty as well to teach together with the Sri Lankan faculty, and then the students will get a very good international experience while being in Sri Lanka.
Have you ever thought of, coming up with some sort of a program where we can get the foreign students to come and join your institution?
Interestingly, it's on the cards, where the Higher Education Ministry gave us a challenge to start a full-time MBA program for the SAARC region. Rather sad to say, currently we don't have a single full-time MBA program in Sri Lanka. So we want to fill that void in offering this qualification, opening up for the entire SAARC region. And the discussions are underway to attract the foreign students so that we would offer them accommodation as well as cost-effective teaching options so that they could spend half of their time here, and the remaining part they can go and do the project, and they can get the e-learning support while being in their own country. So we are working on this program. Possibly within the next 3 years, that will be a reality.
Right. Now, going through this program, handbook program, which you have published, I find that you are offering quite a number of different educational programs. Apart from what is in this booklet, do you have any plans, future plans, to sort of add more courses to this, or is there a demand for any other sort of courses?
Absolutely there. We see a void in the private sector where we need to develop an executive MBA for busy CEOs who do not have time to come and spend 3 hours 3 times a week. And since they are very busy with their business challenges, we want to offer them a workshop related and e-learning combined cost, I would say, more of a flexible learning platform where they can earn an executive MBA within relatively shorter period of time. So the CEO education has been neglected and they always resort to foreign universities. But we want to fill that gap in Sri Lanka by bringing in foreign faculty and offer that international experience to the leaders in Sri Lanka. Same would be applicable to the public sector top leaders. PIM would be the bridge to bring the cream of private sector as well as the cream of the public sector. We are confident that we can be that bridge in having public-private partnerships as well.
I think the sort of work that you are doing is a big strength for the private sector in particular, and I sincerely hope that you will go from strength to strength, and your aim is to, in South Asia, to become the
best management institute, in other words, the center of management excellence.
Well, I hope you will achieve that goal, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
With that, we conclude Rupees and Cents tonight. We'll be back again 2 weeks from today at 9:30 p.m. right here on ITN. Good night.